Guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to be continuing on with our SwiftUI tutorial series by taking a look at how we can use any kind of view or shape or even an image as a background. Alright, so first we need to talk about our current setup, and then we're gonna jump right into the code. So right now I'm in Xcode 16 beta 3, but this will work in Xcode 15. All right. I'm also on the beta of macOS Sequoia. The public beta just came out, so that'll be interesting for those who want to use it. I also increased the size inside the text size inside of Xcode. I hope this is big enough. It's at size 24, so it should be large enough. I hope. I received a comment saying that the font in the videos up to this point for SwiftUI was too small, and so hopefully this resolves that issue. Thank you for pointing that out to me. All right, so let's get right into the code. Inside of our body of our content view, let's see. Okay. All right, so inside of here, we're going to have a text view. This text is going to say, hello, SwiftUI. We're going to set the font to be system. Let's see. We want... Okay, let's see. We want... Okay, that's not quite what we wanted here. There we go. Dot font. Dot system. And we want... where we can give it a size of, let's say, 24. Alright, so now we have some large-ish text. We can also say dot font dot large title. Even if you wanted to use a large title, you could. But we're not going to. We want font weight. It will say dot black. So it's nice and big and bold. All right. Now, if we run this right now, what we'll get is this. You can see hello SwiftUI inside of our window, or if you're using the simulator, your simulator. But how do we set a background for this text? Because maybe we want to have a circle or a rounded rectangle as its background. Well, to do that, we use the background modifier. All right, so I'm going to say dot padding, and we'll set maybe 20 or so units of padding. So whether that be pixels or device independent units or whatever, there's going to be 20 of that around it. So we have a good amount of padding. Next, we can say dot background, and this takes in this can take in a shape, it can take in a view, it can any of those things. So if you want an image, you can give it an image. If you want a circle or a rounded rectangle, you can do that too. So we're going to first give it a shape, and this shape is going to be a rounded rectangle. And we're going to give it a corner radius of, let's say, 15 or 10 or 15. So we'll say rounded rectangle with a corner radius of 10. Now, if we save this and we run it, it doesn't work. Now, why doesn't it work? Well, if we take a look at our error here, okay, so it says there's no member background. And that's because I misspelled background. There we go. All right, this is what we get. It's just a white rounded rect surrounding our text. Or at least it's, there's a rounded rect there surrounding our text. It's not too amazing right now. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll put the rounded rectangle on its own line, because what we're going to do is we're going to apply some modifiers to our rounded rectangle, and those are as follows. So dot stroke color dot, let's say color dot pink, and the line width is going to be let's say 10. So what stroke does is it will apply exactly as it says, a stroke, a border to the edges of a shape. Then we can apply a fill. So we can say dot fill with a color dot, let's say let's say dot, maybe dot green or dot blue or something. We'll say dot blue. Dot blue. Okay, color dot blue. Now if we run our code, when our window opens, we can see something different. So our rounded rectangle has a stroke where the line is 10, where the line width of our border is 10, and the fill color is blue. But we don't necessarily need to have a fill. So we can get rid of the fill altogether. We can get rid of that. And then let's increase the size of the padding just to make this a little bit more pronounced. Instead of 20, let's say 100. Then we'll save that. Alright, we got a build succeeded. And now you can see we have our text view for Hello SwiftUI. However, around that text, we can see our rounded rectangle border where of course the border is a pink color. And so now that we have that, let's go ahead and take a look at how we can use an SF symbol instead. All right. So okay, I didn't want 1,000, but that's okay. We'll keep that there, so that way we can rerun this and take a look at it a little bit better. There we go. It's a little better now. You can still see the border and all that. Now let's get rid of the padding because we don't need it anymore. All right. So now, instead of a rounded rectangle, inside of our background modifier, we're going to use an SF symbol. This SF symbol is going to be the Swift symbol. So we can say image system image not what I wanted. System name Swift. So if we just apply this now, this will work, and we can see our text as well as the Swift image peeking behind it. However, that's not great. Right? So what we can do instead is we can say dot resizable dot scaled to fit. So that way it'll always scale up or down to fit its frame. And then dot frame with a width of let's say 500 and a height of 500 as well. And then we will set the foreground style and the foreground style will be dot orange. All right, there we go. We can save this and run it. And there we go. Now we have our orange Swift symbol as well as our text over it that says Hello SwiftUI. Alright. So that pretty much does it for this video on how we can use views and images as backgrounds for other views. Now keep in mind that with images, you can use images in your asset catalog. We just used an SF symbol as a simple example in this particular instance, but I urge you to play around with it. Read the documentation for the background modifier so you can kind of get a better understanding of it. Go to jump to definition, and you can also read the sort of its implementation details a little bit to kind of understand it as well. So, thank you all so very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.